There are some parts of the Bible which are really interesting and really easy to understand. So if you're trying to read the Bible, the Gospels is always a great place to go because the stories of Jesus are so accessible. You're seeing him do amazing things. He's really speaking about what God is like. Then there are other parts, like some of the stories in the Old Testament, again, really easy to understand and really enjoyable. But a part of the Bible to which we don't go very much is some of those minor prophets. Those books you find at the end of the Bible with people with strange names like Habakkuk and Haggai and Zechariah. But one of the most interesting of those minor prophets for me is Habakkuk. His book starts off with a complaint to God. He starts saying to God, God, I'm living this life and I want to know why there's no justice. Why is it that I call out to you and nothing at all seems to happen? And not that nothing happens, but that I'm praying to you and I'm having to look at violence all day. I'm asking for your help and nothing at all is changing. And what I find interesting about that is that that's something that we end up saying as well. End up talking to God and wondering, God, what's the point of me praying? What's the point of me asking you to do stuff when it seems that when I do, you just ignore me? But what's really interesting about Habakkuk isn't how it starts, but how it ends. Because in Habakkuk chapter 3, verses 17 to 19, Habakkuk says this: though the fig tree does not blossom, and no fruit is on the vines, though the produce of the olives falls, and the fields yield no food, though the flock is cut off from the fold, and there is no herd in the stall, yet I will rejoice in the Lord. I will exult in the God of my salvation. God the Lord is my strength. He makes my feet like the feet of a deer, and makes me tread upon the heights. Now, to us, that may not seem like anything amazing. But what Habakkuk is saying is really, for him, like it's life ending if none of that stuff happens. If there's no figs, if there's no flocks, if there's no herds, he lived in a society where they depended upon that stuff, where that's how they made their money, how they survived. And not to have that is like saying, you know what, even if I don't have a job and I don't get the kind of grades I want, and it seems that my friends aren't treating me how they should be, and people who I thought were with me seem to turn out to be against me, I'm still going to rejoice in the Lord. Now the crazy thing is, what makes Habakkuk say something like this? And it's something that he learns through the book. That really, Habakkuk's responsibility isn't to live in a world where everything is all right, but to live for God even when everything seems to be going wrong. What God is calling him to do is to trust him even when his circumstances aren't good circumstances. To trust him even when it seems everything's failing. Because by that, one, Habakkuk grows closer to God, but two, he is evidence of somebody who believes that God will come through no matter what. Because that's what God promises him. That these circumstances are temporary. That things may not be going right for a while, but one day I will sort them out. And you have to live in the light of that knowledge, not in the light of your circumstances.